Welcome to the Off Axis Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Off Axis Podcast. Today we got Nick Hodge in the house. Nick Hodge is probably one of the best Cyr Wheel artists in the world. Definitely when I saw him for the first time at the Circus Center, I was like, damn, that guy is like levels beyond anyone else that I've seen. So welcome to the podcast, Nick. How you doing?
Good. Glad to be here. Happy to be here. Yeah.
Sweet. So where are you originally from, Nick?
From Minneapolis, Minnesota, but I moved to Vegas to try and perform full time.
Minneapolis. So what did you do leading up to Circus? How long have you been in it?
Well, I've been doing circus and corporate gigs and things like that and performing for the last 4.5 years. I was previously a telecom engineer for CenturyLink, and that was
Took a 180
change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But probably a little bit more exciting of a lifestyle, I would say.
Absolutely.
And you're currently performing in Opium, correct?
Opium at the Cosmopolitan.
So when you moved to Las Vegas, did you already have a job?
I absolutely did not, because everybody said, oh yeah, it's totally cool. You can 1000% move to Vegas with no plans and like totally make a performing career. And I
Who told you that?
everybody from Sarah Moser to Scott McDonald to whoever, and they were completely right. I just happened to move here March 1st, 2020. 2 weeks before 2 weeks before COVID happened. So
perfect timing. What better time to move to Las Vegas, city of entertainment, than right before entertainment gets canceled? So did you have an idea? Like, is there specific shows here that already have Cyr Wheel that you had in mind of maybe I could get into this one or something?
No, but I did have ideas prior. I wanted to make a stage that was slightly concave. So that if you stepped, your waltz steps would slightly track you back towards the center so that I could perform in absinthe. So I wanted to patent a stage that was slightly concave and learn on it, and then I wanted to sell the idea to like Circus or somebody. However, that was frankly a bitch to try to do, and I used that money to move here instead.
Have you seen a skater table?
Like the roller skaters?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me I should look into that.
Yeah, because they are concaved.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems like it'd be weird to spin in the middle of it where it all kind of like meets, though.
It'd be weird. Yeah, so I was, with my engineer, I was checking out, we were going to make a prototype that would allow us to adjust the degree of curve.
Sounds expensive.
It was going to be expensive. So yeah, I used the money to move out here, and it was a good choice. And I just got good enough spinning in a tiny space instead.
Yeah. The tiny space is clutch because there's so many shows where like there's not very much room. But for us, we're so limited to like kind of like outdoor or gigantic theaters and stuff, being either tramp wall where you need a super high ceiling or ramps where you need like a super long distance.
Yeah.
So having, how wide is that stage that you guys are performing on? Like 10 feet?
So we spin on a 9.5 foot stage.
9.5.
Yeah.
And it raises and goes down and stuff.
It goes up and down. It spins around. It does all this stuff.
Yeah. I saw it last week or so. Super good show.
Yeah.
It's actually like significantly better than I thought it would be.
Well, people have been saying it's in a much stronger spot than it has been. We have a lot of new acts. We have more acrobats, which I think brings a lot of perspective to the show and kind of rounds it out, because we have some really talented comedians and variety entertainers, but we hadn't had a lot of acrobats prior.
Nice. Can you come a little closer to the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So what other acts are in that show? Do they rotate? How many days a week is that show?
So the show goes 5 days a week. It's Wednesday to Sunday, 2 shows every day at 7 and 9 p.m. We have a lot of comedy, like I said. We have some vamping. We have crowd work. As far as the staple acts, we have a carrying games, or Risley, so foot juggling. We have hair hanging. We have Cyr Wheel. We have a straight jacket lip sync act, sword swallowing, a bubble blower, and a killer juggling act, and plate spinning.
The juggling act is crazy.
The juggling act is really well made.
Epic. One of the best ones I've ever seen, too. And like the guys, I would have probably never expected them to be jugglers either. They just don't look like it for some reason to me. I don't know. They just,
it's a space.
It was out of nowhere, and they started like juggling. And I was like, oh, these guys are good.
Yeah.
And halfway through, I'm like, dude, these guys are really, really good.
Yeah, the act is really well made, to be honest. A lot of the acts are quite strong. Oh, we have Diablo as well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to forget anybody.
Yeah. The bubble guy was crazy though.
Yeah.
Which is like, what is this? It's such a random like
Yeah.
group of acts, but it makes so much sense with the theme of the show being like outer space, and you guys are like Star Wars traveling kind of thing.
Goofy sci-fi sitcom type of shit. Yeah.
It's hilarious. Did you, because you do perform shirtless, like what else? Don't you like rip your pants off or something too?
Well, I don't want to spoil everything for everybody, but if you want to see me in less clothes than regular, come and see Opium.
Is that, so my next question was, is that something that you thought you would get into, or like was that your vision? Has this ever crossed your mind before you moved to Las Vegas?
So back home, I performed with Expertise Fitness and Minsky Theater. They kind of gave me my start, and there was, they did burlesque, they did a lot of recreational, aerial, and circus things. I didn't really think of doing too much, burlesque, striptease-ish type things. But Opium was very clear. The VPs and directors were very clear that they typecast me as the hot guy for Opium. And they're like, so we're going to give you a tearaway vest and tearaway pants, and we want to make your shorts shorter. I was like, okay. So
yeah, it's funny because I've talked to so many artists, and they move here, like maybe they performed at theme parks or something, and everyone ends up like taking their clothes off at some point. Like even we did tramp wall and like banana hammocks, so it was like, and that wasn't even in Vegas, but you just down the line ended up eventually transitioning to that at some point,
giving the people what they want.
I know, right? It's funny though, and it's so, your guys' show is so out there, like it's like Spiegelworld, like if anyone's seen Absinthe, it's the same company. Dude, Absinthe is phenomenal. Absinthe is great. Whenever people ask me what show they should see when they come to Vegas, I always say Absinthe, but now I'm going to say Opium because I thought Opium was like, I don't know, they're just different, but they're equally as good.
Well, glad to hear it.
Absinthe does have the really cool, like your guys' is like upgraded kind of, but they have like that old school feel that is really cool, and like the chairs are like dinky chairs and stuff, and it like matches the show so well.
No, it's good. It's like really a traditional vaudeville, cabaret style stuff. They have MCs. So Opium and Atomic Saloon are the other two shows, and they're a little different because they have more of a storyline. But Absinthe is definitely more cabaret style. Very good acts in all the shows.
So, what did you do before Cyr Wheel?
I've done a lot of stuff.
Did you do sports? Did you do
I've done a lot of
martial arts, or what did you do?
Yeah. Well, throughout my life, I've done a lot of sports. I've done soccer, tennis, track and field were the main ones. I've done, basketball, baseball, whatever else as well. I was a 4-time junior Olympian in javelin, discus, long jump, high jump, triple jump, things like that. I competed through college, and then
sounds like you could jump pretty high then.
I could do
a lot of jump stuff.
Yeah, and then what else did I do? I did judo and boxing, as well as ultimate frisbee. Went to nationals in college.
Dude, I've always wanted to play ultimate frisbee. I've never had the chance, except for one time in PE. Man, that looks so fun. It's
a blast. You'll learn how to throw the frisbee all sorts of different ways, and then you'll crush it at drinking games like cups or.
Oh, I have that game. I have that game actually, where you throw it at the bottles and 100%, stuff.
100%. You're gonna be unfair. It's gonna be unfair.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like spinning around, launching it. So, and then what got you into Cyr Wheel? Was Cyr Wheel first one you started with?
Cyr Wheel was not the first thing I started with. So I was an engineer. So I was at the office one day, and I was, looking up stuff, and I got a bee in my bonnet because I was watching the World Slackline Championships, and everyone was, bouncing on this 2-foot wire or 2-inch wire, doing flips and crazy crap. And I was like, yo, I want to do that. So I learned how to slackline. I took, 1, 2, 3 months to learn how to slackline. And I figured out that I could juggle clubs while I was on the slackline.
What?
And I was like, yo, I've got to get a character together for Renaissance Festival. And I was like, nah, I need to join the circus.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's kind of what kicked it off. So I spent my work day like researching. I'm like, all right, what circus schools are in the States? And I was like 24, 25. I'm like, what circus schools can I go to? Can I audition? Can I make a career out of this? And so I looked up all these classes, And I tried all the aerials. I tried silks, lyra, trapeze. I tried fire performing. I learned how to spin fire, spit fire, juggle fire, learned rolla bola, learned walking globe. But then I saw a video of Cyr Wheel, and I was like, yo, that's for me. I'm going to be good at that. And luckily, because there's not a lot of teachers throughout the states for Cyr Wheel, but we had a class, beginner class in my state, it's Minnesota at the time, and I signed up, went there, fell in love. And for the first year, I spent about 3 to 5 hours every day spinning, traveling to compete, train, learn, audition. And by the end of that year, I went to the World Championships.
All in 1 year.
Yeah.
I had the opposite experience with Cyr Wheel because I saw it and I was like, dude, I'm going to learn that.
Okay.
And I was like, this was after I had gotten to the point where I didn't want to do ramps anymore because it was just too much impact over and over. I was like, Cyr Wheel's perfect. And then I got it and I just kept getting dizzy. I didn't take any classes and I never really progressed past like just the spinning around. And like I got to like a cartwheel one time, but it was terrifying.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
I couldn't really get it. Like, and the problem was I cartwheeled one way and then I spun the other way. So like I couldn't do a coin spin.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could teach me how to do it.
I could probably teach you. I mean, people have said
I was like, I can't cartwheel that way. That seems weird. But yeah, I had the opposite experience. I did not get very good. Mm-hmm. It kind of, just didn't progress. So do you think the coaching was like what, like, made you get that good, or was just their natural instinct or natural, like, you just liked it so much?
So I was very fortunate because I was very naturally good and took to it right away. I don't really get dizzy. There's no shortcuts with that, but I was naturally gifted at it. But I also did work very hard. Like I said, I spent 3 to 5 hours every day for the first year. I traveled to learn from, some of the best coaches in the world. Well, basically the best coaches in the world at the time. Eric Deschamps, who's the head coach at ENC, which is Cirque du Soleil's school in Montreal, and Sam Tribble, who's done a lot. He's coached a lot of athletes to world championships. So I learned from them. I learned from Bobby Cookson, Charlie Wheeler, who are, I guess, now peers, but they had previously been, idols of mine, which is real cool.
Is there videos that you would see of it? Like, where would you go to see videos of Cyr Wheel? Like, what's the go-to spot? Is it just Instagram?
A whole bunch. I watched YouTube, and some incredible spinners no longer have certain videos on there that I watched over and over and over again. But yeah, YouTube.
Why do you think
they
don't have them up there?
I have no
copyright
idea.
laws?
I don't know if it's copyright
probably
or
copyright.
if they took the material down. We'll see. Maybe it was
it's
copyright,
probably,
to be honest.
Yeah. It usually gets taken down if you got a big song in there or something. If you use like Justin Bieber, they're going to take it down.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you cannot use our Bieber for free.
But yeah, I did a lot of exploring. I did do a couple workshops. I had a lot less than, I haven't taken a ton of classes. I've taken some workshops, but, it would accumulate to less than like a month of instructed training. A lot of the stuff I had to drill and learn on my own and explore on my own. So of course it was a lot of bails.
Yeah.
But it gave me a really good understanding of Cyr Wheel, and also being able to work with excellent coaches and excellent spinners in their own right. That has certainly helped me be the spinner I am today.
Yeah. So what is like, have you had any bad injuries? Because I've seen some pretty bad spills in Cyr Wheel.
I haven't had terrible injuries, thank the Lord. I think probably one of the worst ones.
Knock on this wood real quick.
Yo.
There's some. You got some over there.
I've seen some rough times. But what did I do? I was learning cartwheel to coin, and there's a version where if you just slow it down, you can roll into the spin if you shift your weight slow and gradually enough.
Yeah.
But there's also a version where you can slide into it. So where you force a slip and the wheel will re-catch, and then you can go into coins. And I was trying to do that. And I got it, but then I tried to do it again. And I ended up falling on my shin on the wheel, and the wheel hit the ground, bounced off the ground, hit my shin again, and it was just a nightmare. It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. I learned a lot of dolphins. So these are trailing one-arm foot hooks, one-arm back handspring foot hooks. And I would go for angles that were bigger than I knew how to handle. And so I'd fall out on my hips and knee a lot, which wasn't the worst. I mean, with a lot of acrobatics and martial arts, I think they're particularly good for kids and adults because they force you to deal with things like stress, courage, fear, discipline. But yeah, once you kind of overcome the fear, you realize that, this might hurt a little bit, I might get a little bruised, but you kind of make decisions on what's worth it, and you change your approach. If you need to preserve the self, you can approach it in a more sustainable way. If you're just going balls to the wall, if you're young and you've got the years in you and you can recover, then you can explore bigger angles a little sooner, and then you can make those gains a lot faster. But
yeah. Our roommate Dylan is a good example of that on trampoline wall.
Oh, yeah.
He just sends it. He's like crazy, just not afraid of anything. Just levels above everyone else because he's nuts. He is down to try anything. Like he'll think of some idea. I'm like, no, there's no way you're gonna do that. And then he'll do it later that day. And I'm like, you're fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So when you started Cyr Wheel, for me, one of the hardest places or hardest things to do was find places to train. Where was like your typical spot to go, or was it easy for you because you were in a circus school?
No, I was not in a circus school.
Oh, you weren't?
There was it was a recreational facility. And so they had classes 2 times a week. So I would go absolutely 2 times a week. And otherwise I was on my own. So I can answer all this on my FAQ on cyrcoachnick.com. We'll plug that later. But I would go to rec centers, LA Fitness, the dance studios, racquetball courts, basketball courts outside, tennis courts outside. There's a couple places in Minnesota, Target Stage at Raspberry Island, which is by the river in St. Paul, Harriet Island Pavilion. I'd go to outdoor stages that were like kind of smooth, and flat. Those are my favorite places. But you can always find basketball courts, racquetball courts, a lot of rec centers, a lot of parks, and that's where you'll spend a lot of your time. I go to, I'd even spin on the street, spin on asphalt. That'll make you better. I was hungry, and I think that was what kind of made the difference for me versus a lot of people. Yeah, is just being out to spin on everything, no matter how terrible it was, no matter what I had to learn. It was the hunger. Yeah,
for sure. I was like that with tramp wall. I was like, because Cyr Wheel didn't work out for me, and I was like, tramp wall has to be it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, it's like this, I like seek that like falling feeling from scootering. Like the airtime is like addicting. So tramp wall was like perfect for me, and I was laying on my head left and right. People were concerned for my health, but I was like, no, I'm going to perform this year. And fortunately, I started my own business, so I could hire myself.
Excellent. Great move.
It made getting casted really easy. Certainly, I was not qualified for the first couple shows that I performed or that Off Axis performed. Totally not, but you got to start somewhere. So, what other shows have you worked in other than Opium?
Ooh, well, I've done a lot of stuff. I haven't done any shows really longer than 2 weeks. I've done some, kind of one-offs and periodic things with Expertise Fitness and Minsky Theater back home. Got to give a huge shout-out to Jack Fatale because she gave me my start. The theater is no longer open due to some things, but they have really done a lot for the performance community in Minnesota. Cabaret is another show back home. They've done a series of shows. I've been with them for a couple years. They perform at the Lab Theater. Really cool, really conceptual shows. Interactive too. General admission was on the floor of the theater, and so we'd perform all around and in and about. I have done a lot of gigs, a lot of corporate gigs. I've been to St. Kitts. I've been to, just for random corporations. I've been out to, Texas for festivals. Been around the States and around the world. North Carolina is 24th year retrospective at their art museum. I was hired to perform for that, be ambient entertainment. I've won the Minnesota State Fair amateur talent competition for $10,000 to Bruno Mars.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, that was
that's cool.
I can't leave that one out. Actually, David Matz hired me to do with Sarah Moser to do the San Antonio Spurs halftime for New Year's Eve on 2020. So that was a big moment as well. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff.
2020, so right before.
Right
I was
before.
when you said 2020, I was like, and then it didn't. It was right before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's good though. And then so you've also done Cyr Wheel competitions. I remember watching with Eric and Noemi a while back. We were watching like the Cyr Wheel like live competition. And we were like, I was like, dude, these guys are freaking good. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you guys are, for one, I always thought coin spin was like the best trick. That's like the double backflip. And then I saw a competition. I'm like, wait a second. They're doing
There's
only
more?
hands and stuff. They're doing it on their backs. And like, what would you say is like one of the most difficult skills that you're working on right now?
That I'm working on or that I can do?
Maybe that you can do.
So to give you a little background, scores are right now kind of like gymnastics. They're from A to E, A, B, C, D, E. A being the easiest, E being the most difficult. So, the general skill, an A-level skill would be like just waltzing, just spinning, right side up, feet apart, feet together, whatever. A B-level skill would be arabesques, where you extend your leg.
It kind of sounds good that I'm an A-level Cyr Wheel artist, though.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of
I think you guys should have started the other way.
Yeah.
So put me at an F.
Oh, man. C would be like a hanging full turn. So if you see people jump and have the wheel turn around them, that's an intermediate skill.
Okay.
D would be hand waltz, where it's spinning upside down on your hands.
D.
And then E would be like a one-leg hand waltz, where you spin upside down on your hands with only one leg. Or one-arm rodeo, where you're straddling the wheel on, one half or one quarter of it. And what I like to do is I like to cover my eyes just to flex.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So, there's, Charlie, myself, Bobby, Justin Dale, a lot, Marika Marinoni, all of us have created moves that can't really be in the difficulty catalog because they're harder than the E.
So it's like
category.
the E plus.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to call it the F category.
No.
Yeah.
But
we'll skip F, maybe go to G, like the
Yeah,
16th floor or something, Just go to G.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. My favorite, I like a lot of rodeos, ollies, hanging multis, hanging full turns, hanging half turns. That's one of the moves that I kind of pioneered and helped get into the competition catalog. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Is there a Cyr Wheel competition this year?
There is. I think the World Championships is going to be late May. I have to sort out if I'm going to be going there.
You should go.
I should go. Well, I'm the ambassador for Team USA, so I really should probably go.
Yeah.
But as far as getting
maybe
time
we could
off
sponsor
the
that
show,
event or something.
Maybe. I also have to talk to Wheel Gymnastics, see if they'll hook something up or not, because it costs money to compete right now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that I have to take time off of work in the show to go compete.
That's the problem with competing, is you usually make less money than you do at shows.
Yeah.
So the moment someone gets into shows, they stop competing. And also, well, I don't know, for me, once I got into shows, I was like, wait a second, this is way easier, and it doesn't hurt my body. It's like I don't have to go send it and like potentially get hurt. My motivation to like progress went down significantly.
It does. It can, if you don't have,
because you do the same thing every day.
You do the same thing every day.
Yeah, and then you get good at, you really get at the show tricks, but not necessarily the technical tricks.
And what I think happens is, I think there's three areas. I think, performance gets you really polished.
Yeah.
I think competition drives your skill progression and depth, and I think teaching drives your skill breadth and knowledge. Yeah,
that's true.
So I think, to be really well-rounded, you need all three. And it's hard. It certainly is hard because, if you're in a show, why would you put stressful tricks in your act? For me, why would I put anything that I feel less than 100% confident doing on a 9.5 foot stage when I could kill like 5 people if I fall off?
Yep.
So, I don't want to put stressful tricks in there. Of course I do high level tricks, but finding that motivation to train and progress and learn other tricks is very important. But you also don't want to plateau. And
has anyone ever fallen off that stage?
I'm sure somebody has.
Because it's only 9 feet. So,
Yeah.
But I was watching you, and you were staying mostly in the center.
Absolutely.
So, but no one's fallen off in recent times at all.
You mean no Cyr Wheel people?
Cyr Wheel or anyone?
There's not really a lot of Cyr people that can fit on the stage at all, to be honest. So, Speigelworld hasn't really hired anyone. I actually believe I'm either the first or second only full-time Cyr Wheel performer they've hired, just because it's too much of a liability.
Yeah. It is a liability. We've had in 13 years of shows that I've been doing, one bike has gone into the audience.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like in a recent show.
Ooh.
And it was crazy because the guy just bailed and the bike tumbled, did a front flip by itself, landed on the wheels and rolled straight, and then just started rolling towards the audience.
Oh, no.
Like, you know how sometimes bikes just go on forever? And it was like one of those things where it was like perfectly balanced, and we were just like, no, it's going to go into the audience. And then it like pulls up and like stops and then just gently falls in the audience.
Oh, well,
it was like straight out of like, I don't know, it should have been a viral video if anyone filmed it.
Yeah.
But fortunately, because that's what we have to have insurance for. It doesn't
Yeah,
cover us. It covers the people in the audience.
The equipment.
Where I'm paying this money for insurance and it doesn't even cover me. Covers like me hitting someone, which has like never happened before.
Yeah.
So that's what we're paying those insurance prices for. And let's see. Let's talk about your website.
Okay.
So you started a website. What is it called?
CyrCoachNick.com.
CyrCoachNick.com. And what is it?
So
obviously you're coaching.
It's my coaching. It's my coaching site. It's my baby right now. I'm gearing up to launch the beginner program. Really what I wanted to do is, I don't think it really shouldn't be so hard to start out in Cyr. It's way more accessible a discipline than you think. Of course, if you want to do the crazy stuff, it's going to take a lot of work, but it's a lot more accessible for all body types, for recreational activities, for high focus, low intensity type of training, for a gentle workout that's kind of fun. If you don't like just lifting weights, you can go spin around, break a sweat, make your shoulder sore, work your core. I just don't think it should be so difficult to find beginner resources, how to start spinning, how to warm up, how to put it together, how to take it down, where to get a wheel, so these are all things that I cover. So the site, it's broken down by skill level, and I have courses across the major categories. I've broken it down according to the competition catalog, which allows me to more holistically and comprehensively cover all the skills that you can do. So if you're looking for a particular skill, you can go to that category, sign up, subscribe. So you'll subscribe monthly, and you get access to all the beginner videos or all the intermediate or advanced videos that are not released yet. But then you can watch all the videos, and my tutorials have text, voice, slow motion, and you can learn those. And then if you need extra help, if you want the one-on-one online coaching, you can purchase skill reviews, which come in 1, 3, or 5 packs. And that's where you'll upload a video. It's like 2 minutes long. And then I'll download your video. I'll voice it over, tell you what's hot, what's not. I'll re-upload it to your account. And then I'll also provide, kind of a text or a PDF with praise, suggestions, and progressions for how to, what to do next time and how to achieve the skill. So it's kind of like, basically it's what I've offered in my peer-to-peer offering, but I wanted to scale the business in terms of, making it a lot more accessible, a lot cheaper for people to do. And then I also, like I said, if you need a wheel, I've got a blog post with all my affiliate products. Off Axis is on there. Design Control, all the different wheel makers, have coupon codes. So if you want to get a wheel, you can get, 10, 15, 20% discount on wheels, and things like that. So, I have an FAQ, and then a Facebook group where you can chat with other peers and other students if you need help with a particular move. Yeah,
that sounds like what I needed when I first started Cyr Wheel, because I was like teaching myself, and I was like, taking, if you don't have, because I've never really had any coaches for anything that I've learned.
Yeah.
And if you watch me perform, you would probably like, yeah, that guy's got no coaching for sure. This form is everywhere. But yeah, that would have been something that would have been great for when I was starting, because I never could really get past the typical just spinning around and then the, what do you call it, half turn thing?
Yeah, half turns, full turns, all of that.
Yeah. So have you had any people sign up yet? Is it officially launched?
It's not officially launched yet. Hopefully
Oh,
in
you
the
gotta
next
put
week,
it out there.
week and a half.
Now you got to put it out there before this podcast.
I got to do it.
We're gonna
I gotta
race.
do it real quick.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, I'm sure it will be officially launched. The beginner program, at least by the time this podcast is released. But I do have current students right now. If you're intermediate or advanced student, because the majority of the videos that I will have released are the beginner program, I am still offering, the peer-to-peer stuff how I used to do it for those advanced students that are, really committed and really, trying and gunning for certain skills. Like I just had a student sign up. I think they're based in Seattle. They want to learn rodeos. I'm like, yeah, I'll make your rodeo tutorials. And
What's a rodeo?
A rodeo is my favorite thing, where you straddle that wheel. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's a coin spin, and you use your arms. Your arms are in between your legs, and you're kind of rocking with the wheel. You're all on one half of the wheel to make it coin spin. But yeah, it's a fun move. It's kind of goofy looking, but it's definitely a flex. So yeah, if you're an advanced student, I still offer that until the intermediate and advanced programs are out. But I do have people that are already interested. And, if you drop your email on the site, you do get a welcome package, which is, 10 free videos, how to skate start, covers 4 different starts, stretching, how to assemble and disassemble the wheel, manipulations, and how to waltz. So, and that's kind of what I meant when I was like, yeah, I don't think it should be this hard to find resources just to start spinning. It should be more accessible. So that's one of the big things I wanted to do, is make sure that I had free resources for people that wanted to, give it a go.
Yeah. So can you go over some of these for this?
Oh, yeah.
So we will, this is a fucked up video. There's some weird cropping issues. Okay, we're just going to deal with it, because I know I obviously didn't publish this version of it, but this is for the YouTube audience only.
All right.
So this first move,
it's a top rock. You mean in the wheel?
Right here, this one.
So this is a jump to support.
Jump to
see it
support.
In a moment. Yeah. So if you land back on the wheel, it's more difficult than not. This is a hanging triple, which is, rare to all sorts of people.
And this is the coin
one leg
spins.
hand waltz. That's one of the hardest moves that
hand
I
waltz.
guess exists
That's
right now.
the one where you're spinning on your hands.
Absolutely.
That one, I thought that one was the coolest one.
To a back ollie, yeah, those are fun. Yeah, that's a combo. The hanging 1.5 where you landed front, and then I dropped to rodeos here instead. Then got some no-eyed rodeos there. Go to a one-arm super briefly. That wouldn't score in competition, but it's no big deal.
Wait, why wouldn't it score?
Because I didn't hold it for 2 rotations.
Oh, yeah. Wait, is that a rule?
Yeah,
you got to do 2 rotations of everything.
In center spin in certain things. So there's definitely they're nitpicky. In all the different categories, but yeah, there's some really good.
Well,
good
now that
here.
Next time we're filming, I'm gonna be sorry, Nick. That wasn't competition level. I want competition level only.
I mean, we're working on it, man. Those one-arm supers are hard.
Yeah, I bet they are. Like, what is like one of the first tricks you would learn, like after a coin spin?
After a coin spin?
Yeah.
If you don't already have Superman, definitely Superman.
Because coin spin's like the entry level show trick. You kind of have to have a coin spin.
Cartwheels, corners, and coins.
Yeah.
Those are like, if you want to perform and you don't want to be super high level, cartwheels, corners, and coins, you have an act. Boom, done. You don't even have to hardly waltz at all.
I have seen acts with literally only those tricks in them too.
Yeah.
Lots
Absolutely.
of them.
And the thing is, they're not terrible acts either.
Yeah.
We're not like gatekeeping people from performing out here.
Yeah.
There's like, if you want to perform and you're not necessarily trying to do the craziest knuckle busting tricks, there's a spot for you to perform.
When you say knuckle busting, you literally mean that, because that's all I can think about when I see people spinning on their hands. I'm like, dude, their fingers.
Oh yeah, some you'll get them here and there. Not often, but there's one move that was working on with Scott McDonald, and I call them toe crushers.
Toe crushers.
I call them toe crushers.
Well, yeah, you also normally spin barefoot, don't you?
I do.
So that's just asking for it. But,
It is asking for it.
okay, what is it?
So it's a spindle, no-handed half twist plus a back ollie. So you start in spindle, and then you untwist and let the wheel go, and it drops behind you, and you jump kind of like an ollie in a skate park, and you get the wheel back up, and it comes up behind you, and you catch it. Yeah, but it's like that's way too long a name, so I'm like, I'll just call them toe crushers.
Toe crushers.
Because they fuck up your feet if you mess up.
Do you ever get blisters from spinning it around or anything on your feet?
Not on my feet.
On your hands, though, for sure.
On your hands, if you're not conditioned, like I have a lot of calluses now, but if you're not conditioned, and if you go to a wheel weekend, like a workshop, and you spin all day and you don't take any breaks like you're supposed to, because we'll tell you to take breaks, you might get blisters or blood blisters because your hands are new and you don't know how to be efficient, so you're grabbing extra tight.
Yeah.
Right? But once you're comfortable and familiar, you don't have to grab so tight, and you'll kind of understand what you need, and then it won't be so harsh on your hands. But it does take a little bit of getting used to, kind of like, I'm sure, what did you do, scooters? I'm sure your shins got used to it.
People ask that all the time, like, how many times do you get hit in the shins? And the truth is never.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't say never, because it does happen, but it's not like when you're spinning it around, you know?
Right,
like when I'm doing tail whips, I know that if I pull my arms up from straight, it's going to hit my shin. Yeah. So you just don't do that. But, and we even, I can do like a backflip with 3 tail whips. So I'm catching it without looking.
Yeah.
Because I'm like looking for the ground. And then the tail whips are just, I'm just kind of feeling for it. But there has been, in fact, a couple times where if you go to jump over or something and you're like not going to land it, so you bail, but you bail and the scooter gets stuck between your shins, it'll do, it'll go boom, 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 and hit both sides. Like you're running. That's the worst thing to do, is run with a scooter between your legs, because it just goes like back and forth and hits like the inside of the shins like 4 to 5 times.
Yeah. And
it's not a good time at all.
It's kind of like...
But I would say I hit my face more often than I hit my shins, unfortunately, because your hands are tied up. So if you fall forward, your hands are not going to save you. Yeah. Right?
Well, it's kind of like everyone asks me, how many times do you smash your fingers? I'm like, it really doesn't happen that much.
Yeah.
But it has happened, and it fucking hurts. Like...
Dude. That just seems... Yeah.
It's not often.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen, I think it was Scott McDonald or someone was doing a back, like where you do a pullover on it, basically.
Oh,
you pull up.
Those back pullover. Oh,
didn't he
you
go
saw
the wrong
that video.
way? I think it was Scott.
Yeah, it was Scott.
Went the wrong way, and like started leaning forward.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of nightmare stuff that I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one. I like when people do the hula hoop with it, though. Who did that in a show?
You love it, huh? Yep, I'm sure you do. I can't stand. There's certain things. I'm not saying that this stuff is not cool. There's certain things that I can't stand.
It's to the untrained eye. Because it's not hard. It's not a real skill.
I'm like, I hate it.
But yeah, no, I still do it on my scooter. Like things like that, show tricks like backflip and then land on your butt and then ride down while you're sitting down, or stupid showy tricks like that. Yeah, see, most people are like, what the? That's dope. Yep. But okay, cool. So let's wrap it up right here. Where can everyone find you? And your website is, what was it again?
Website is cyrcoachnick.com.
Cyrcoachnick.com.
And my Instagram is at magic.hodge, HODGE. I'm sure you've seen me. I'm hard to miss. But yeah, shoot me a follow. And Facebook is just Nick Hodge, or Magic Hodge will take you to the professional page. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, if you are looking for Cyr Wheel lessons, I don't think there's a better coach to go to. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoy it, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.